Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Red Brothers Pod. I'm Victor,
And I'm Alex.
and today we'll be talking about the Liverpool Wolves game, which happened yesterday. Now, wasn't it? Losing track of my days, something like that.
Yeah, it was
It
yesterday.
happened.
Yeah,
Put it
yeah,
that
yeah.
way. It happened.
Yeah,
Not very notable.
yeah. It was a weird game.
Potentially one of the weirdest games of football I've watched in a long time.
That was such a strange 90 minutes. We somehow had made it look like such an easy game at the beginning, then played in the Champions League final, then got the 3 points. So you know what it is. What it is.
We literally, first half, we looked really good. I think we were creating a lot. They weren't creating a lot. And it was all round not bad performance. And then second half, I don't know what happened. It's like we didn't come out for the second half.
Genuinely.
And I mean, I think that is a bit unfair to say, because I think like the first sort of 5 to 10 minutes where we have the goal disallowed and then we have the Jota dive, on another day there could be a contact there, it could have been a penalty. So I don't think it's as easy to say we didn't do nothing in the second half, because I think, again, we had a goal disallowed, we had a penalty shout, but it wasn't, what the sort of standards that we hold Liverpool to.
Yeah.
And I think that was sort of the most disappointing thing about the second half, is after putting a really good first half performance in, finding yourself 2-0 up, they kind of snoozed a little bit.
Yeah.
And it could have cost us in the end. If not for a few big saves from Alisson, we could have been losing 2 points again.
Yeah, I agree. There was a massive contrast between the first and the second half. The first half was great and pretty much we could say it's an average Liverpool performance this season. However, the second half, it just went completely bad. I don't know, we fully lost control of the game. Going into half time, I thought it was going to be 3-4-0 final time, but
I think the sort of the key as to why they could get back in the game is they went from a 5-back to a 4-back and put one more in midfield. And I think that it surprised Slot, and he didn't have an answer for it. And then Nunes came on. He wasn't great. The ball was just going up to him and coming straight back. He wasn't sticking it. He wasn't moving it. A few nice passes to Salah mainly, but overall he weren't great when he came on. And I think that was sort of our problem, that they stepped up a bit further. They put 4 at the back instead of 5, and then Nunes wasn't able to keep the ball up there. So it just keeps coming back, and in 50-50 chances, they were getting the better of us, and getting on the counter on the break. So I think sort of that's what I would put it down to, the tactical change from Wolves and our lack of being able to adapt to it.
Yeah, I think it's a shame how when Nunes comes on, I no longer get that excitement thinking he's going to have that impact, because I think these days when he comes on, sometimes he has that impact in important moments, but it's very rare where we see that these days.
I think with Nunes, it always takes him like 10-20 minutes to get into a game.
Settle,
and when you're coming on as a sub, you don't have that time. 10-20 minutes is what you have on the pitch. So I think that's sort of the problem with Nunes coming on in situations like that. When you're looking for a goal and you need a goal and 1 down or 1-1, Nunes is a good sub because he can make stuff happen. Yeah. But when it comes to keeping a lead or keeping the ball, I don't think he was the right choice. Yeah. And I think, it just wasn't the right choice. And it's not to put it all on Nunes now, because it isn't all his fault. But I think a large majority of the reason why we struggled so much in that second half was when Nunes came on, the ball just bounced back to him.
I've got a question, why do you think Nunes is not living up to what he should be? Because we can see from the player profile himself, everything about him should be great. I mean, he's got a good shot on him occasionally, he's got a lot of pace, so what do you think the problem with him is?
I think uncoordination. It sounds weird, but, again, when the ball's going up long from the keeper, he doesn't have that ability to be able to touch it down and move it. He looks really clunky when he dribbles, and he seems really clunky on the ball in general. And then I think the elephant in the room is his finishing. It's not good enough for what we paid for him.
Yeah.
So, when you take the price tag and his goal output for a team like Liverpool, you would expect it to be a lot higher. And I think that's sort of where we're struggling a little bit with Núñez, because he brings these great moments of magic, like Forest, like Brentford, and you couldn't be happier for him. But then the next 2-3 weeks he just won't perform, and I think inconsistency is something that keeps him down as well. Because we always say when you get Núñez on a purple patch, he'll be so good, but it happens so rarely.
Yeah, I agree.
Most strikers will have like multiple patches through the season where they're just scoring, and their off games are 1 or 2 games in between those patches where they don't score. Whereas with Núñez, it's like the other way round.
Yeah.
There's more games he doesn't score, then he'll score 1 or 2 in 2 games in a row or in 1 game, and we're thinking, this is it now. This is where Núñez gets his confidence. This is where he picks up his minutes and scores his goals. But that lack of sort of consistency from him isn't able for him to do that. So I sort of think that's the issue with Núñez, I guess.
I don't even know if it's a confidence issue, to be honest, because his inconsistency, I mean, you'd think if he's had so many good performances, he wouldn't just suddenly drop off back to square one, you could say. Is quite a shame to see sometimes, and I think he has the ability. We know he has it in his locker. We know that, like you said, on them purple patches, he's a great player. Like,
he's got what it takes to be a great Premier League striker. He's tall, he's physical, but again, the dribbling lets him down a little bit, I think, and his all-round sort of, how do I say this? I think a lot of really good strikers are really able to use their body to manipulate the defender, manipulate their position, open up spaces for themselves, whereas Núñez can't seem to do that. I think I think that's it, really.
Yeah, we don't see it too often with him, where he's really shielding the ball, playing as a target man, or just really doing much on the ball physically, like you were saying. And it's weird because he is quite a tall lad, so you'd think he might be able to outstrength someone. But it is a shame, especially because he has that aggression. You can see he is quite an aggressive player.
He gets a yellow card every game.
Exactly.
It's not even a joke.
Exactly. So with his aggression, you'd think he's strong, but he's clearly all bark, no bite.
Yeah, and for me, it just goes back to the point that a Liverpool striker should be scoring more goals.
Yeah.
When it comes to the transfer fee paid, I think that speaks for itself. So when you add those two sort of things on top of his inconsistency, I think that's why it hasn't worked out. But just going back to the game, sort of, where do we even start? We
can start with Trent.
Yeah, I wanted to ask some sort of question about Trent, but I didn't know how to word it, because he was poor again last night.
Very poor. It's so weird with Trent, because we know, again, he's starting to turn into more like Núñez. So inconsistent. It's so weird from him. All the time that I've been watching Liverpool, my whole Liverpool watching career, he's been outstanding pretty much most games. He'll put in amazing. Even if he doesn't really have a big impact, he'll play 1 or 2 dangerous balls that we might score from, we might not, but it's still putting us up the pitch. And I don't know, he was so poor, he was so different. He looked like he was completely lost. He was missing passes.
I mean, again, I know we mentioned this on a couple of episodes, but I don't see any other answer other than it being Real Madrid.
Yeah,
I can't pinpoint any other sort of reason as to why this is happening other than Madrid being in his head. And if that's the case, then it's going to be really sad to see. But I think if he continues to underperform, there's going to come a point in the season where we just starting Bradley over him, because we can't allow his head being somewhere else to derail our season. And
I agree.
As we saw against United, that should have been an easy 3 points for us. But Trent has an absolute stinker. All the wingers are beating him. Even Dalot was beating him when he's a right back playing left wing back. So, I think it comes to a point in the season where we're going to have to move Trent out of the team, because if this doesn't improve, basically, because his head seems like it's in Madrid, and we just can't let that be the thing that affects our season. And when we come back to this seasons in years to come, I don't want to be sitting back and looking at it going, "Oh, brilliant, we lost the league because Trent's head was in Madrid and he couldn't keep a winger out of the box." So yeah, I think if it continues, there is going to be serious, uncomfortable conversations about Bradley actually starting. Yeah. But hopefully it's just a little blip like United was, and he'll be back to his best.
Yeah, I think that you're right. There is a direct correlation between links with Madrid and his performances recently. I think ever since the January transfer window, there was more and more links as whether he's going to move in January,
Madrid
whether
put that 20 million bid in.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Or whether he's going to wait until the end of the season. He's clearly stayed, but despite that, he still just hasn't been great at all. He's been inconsistent. Recent weeks, he's had a few odd good performances here and there, but more often than not.
Ipswich was good, but other than that, it's not been like an outstanding performance. Obviously, he gets injured and then comes on versus Everton quite late in the game. Again, didn't do nothing special, and then going back to sort of Wolves now, it just wasn't good enough, and I am getting quite tired of this because this isn't the first season though we've seen Trent's performances like fluctuate and drop up and down, but it tends to be in seasons when we're poor. When we have good seasons, Trent seemed to be like one of the players that is always good, but it's just a shame to see. And if it is because he's wanting to go to Madrid, then it's just sad because he's a Scouser, he's from Liverpool, he should want to die for that badge, and as long as he's wearing that Liverpool shirt, he should give 100%. And I'm not saying he's not giving 100%, but on multiple occasions you can see he's just not up to it, and it's not physical because he's physically fit, it's mental. And that's sort of where my problem lies.
In previous seasons we saw that there was a link between his performances and how Liverpool play as a whole, because under Klopp we would see that
when Trent was good, we were good.
Yeah, when Trent was good, we'd be good because he'd create everything. He would literally create our whole game. The whole tactic was structured around his playmaking.
Yeah, for sure.
This season, under Schlott, it's a bit different because we're able to still have a result without him. When he has a poor performance like today in that first half, yesterday, we still had a great game. That first half, good, very good.
But this is the problem though, like, it takes one attack for a team to punish you and cost you however many points. And the problem with Trent is he just gets beat way too easily, and that's the problem. It takes one good attack. Look at Cunha yesterday. Outside the box, fake shot, left foot, curl, bottom corner, boom. It's that easy. Of course, it's not an easy finish, but Trent being so lackluster defensively, it opens him up to allowing more chances that could finish in a goal. And I think if you look at the United game, the Ahmad goal came from his side, the Martinez goal came from his side, and again, it cost us 2 points. And how many times is that going to happen over the course of the season?
Yeah, especially in a league like the Premier League where there's so much talent like Cunha. Even though Wolves is a poorer side in the Premier League, you got Cunha, an amazing player.
Even if you look at like clubs like Ipswich that aren't great on form, or like established Premier League sides, Delap is still a dangerous striker. They've got Schmodic, who was Championship's best scorer last season. They've got who else have they got up front? They've got that guy from Chelsea, Amari Hutchinson. Like, these are quality players that if you give them the time and space, they are going to punish you.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the problem. How many times are we going to get punished down that right-hand side? I know it didn't necessarily happen yesterday. The goal came from the left, but I think Trent definitely left more to be desired from him because it wasn't good enough yesterday.
There's so many players in this league where one little mistake and all of a sudden we can be comfortably controlling the game 2-0 like we was, and all of a sudden one mistake, boom, 2-1, and now we're playing on edge the whole match because the other team's got the momentum. We don't have the momentum. We've just conceded. We're like, oh no, we can't concede another one. We're in a title race as well. Another team,
and then pressure builds up, which leads to more mistakes. And this is my
sort of cycle.
This is my sort of point. Like, how long can you keep affecting us for before he signs a deal or leaves? Like, because it's going to be one of those two things. So before he leaves or signs a deal, how many times are we going to allow his head being in Madrid affect us going forward?
I genuinely believe that the fact that there is a choice for him on the table is messing with him, because he hasn't made his mind up. And each game he's like,
but even then, don't you think that if you had both options on the table, you'd do everything to play to the very top of your ability, so that Real Madrid still want you in the summer? Because it doesn't make sense to me why Madrid are all of a sudden involved, and now all of a sudden his performances are dropping and he's not as great. But I mean, I think, don't get me wrong, I love Trent. He is probably my favourite Liverpool player, and that's probably why I'm so harsh on him, because I know how good he can be. And, you know, I was there watching in front of my TV when he made his debut versus Spurs in the Cup, I believe, and then again when he was in the Champions League in 17-18, where he scores that free kick away at Berlin, Hertha Berlin or Hoffenheim, I think it was actually. So, you know, I've seen Trent from the very beginning to now, and I'm fully aware of what he's capable of. So when I see him not achieve those expectations due to a lack of commitment or determination, it really drives me up the walls, because, you know, again, you're in a red shirt, you're a Liverpool fanboy, you know, from knee height, and you're telling me now all of a sudden Real Madrid want you, and you know you can't put that effort in on the pitch. It just don't make sense.
And a European rival as well. Real Madrid, they've cost us, even in recent years, 2 Champions Leagues. So it's so sad, and he's been there. He's watched us lose them Champions League. It happened in front of him to Real Madrid, and now he's got such a drive to go there. He probably wants that European glory, but I'm not sure how he can't see that we've got a squad that's able to achieve the same glory.
Exactly that, and it's really frustrating because, like you mentioned, we do have a squad that can achieve anything. And it's about keeping them together, and obviously with this Trent, Salah, Van Dijk whole thing going on, it's uncertain as to what's going to happen, But yeah, I mean, we definitely do have that squad there to be able to achieve those things. It's just, like I said, keeping it there, and Trent leaving would be a massive part of it. And yeah, that's sort of where the problem lies. And I think that going forward, we just need to get it sorted. And I think as much blame as we want to put on Trent for allowing it to get to this situation, again, the question needs to be, what are the owners doing? How have we got here? Why are we here with 3 of our best players with less than 6 months on their contract? Why are we here?
Yeah, I agree.
As the biggest club in England, I believe, wholeheartedly, how have we got here? Who has allowed us to get here? And who's sitting at the top going, I don't think these players are worth what they want? Because I'm telling you now, they are. And if you gave Trent a contract a year ago, a year and a half ago, half a year ago, 2 years ago, 600 years ago, it'd be sorted. We'd never be here. We'd never be losing a potential £100 million plus asset for completely free. And this is what I mean, even from a business perspective, surely signing him on a contract and then selling him on a year later or a half a year later for over 100 million, which is what his true value is. I don't understand what the club's debating about paying him. The only sort of objection I see is if his heart is set on Real Madrid. But I believe if we match what Madrid want to pay him, he will stay. And it's just, I don't understand what the the hold up is from our perspective. We just need to get this done and put it past us. Because, you know, the closer we get to pardon me, the closer we get towards the end of the season, the bigger this topic becomes. The more uncertain the fans are, the more uncertain the players themselves are. Of course, a few of them will have information from the players on what's sort of going on. I don't doubt that. But overall, as a majority in a club, it's stupid to say that it's not going to affect us and our performances. And I think, I'd hate again if that was one of the reasons why we struggled to achieve what we can this season, because the owners were pissing about doing God knows what instead of actually putting the contracts on the table and going, no, you're staying.
Yeah, I don't believe that these players' demands are that high that we can't supply it.
I mean, we don't spend money on transfers.
Yeah.
So if our money doesn't go towards transfers and it doesn't go towards wages, where is it going?
Yeah.
Because last time I checked, we're well within PSR rules for every season. The money should be available. 125 million, we were willing, euros, we were willing to spend on Caicedo, and that was sweet. But now it comes to extending your three best players. Where's that 125 million? Because it wasn't spent on Mamardashvili, it wasn't spent on Chiesa, so where is it? And this is what really frustrates me about these owners. Okay, it's about doing the right thing at the right time. But if it was about that, then why are they still not signed?
Yeah, and I think with Trent, I don't understand why he's got a choice of winning glory of Real Madrid under a squad where he's just going to be settling in. He might not have as big of an impact as he would compared to all the players around him. He's got a lot of superstars around him, compared to staying at Liverpool, where he's a key piece in winning all these trophies.
Do you know what I think as well the most? I know deep down there's nothing Trent would love more than winning that Premier League and being able to celebrate it with the fans. Yeah. So why are you leaving? Okay, you might win a Champions League with Real Madrid. You probably will. But you're going to go to that parade. They're going to be singing Spanish songs. You're not going to be the key focus. It's all going to be about Vinny, Bellingham. It's all going to be about Rodrigo or Valverde or Rudiger. Whereas Liverpool, you're a key staple of the squad.
Yeah.
The fans love you. They sing your name week in, week out. And there's nothing we want to see more than him lifting that trophy at the end of the season.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just don't understand how he could potentially think that winning those trophies would be more valuable at Madrid, because it's not. And, I know Michael Owen was speaking about this because he went from Liverpool to Madrid, and he was mentioning it didn't feel the same. They won the La Liga, and he mentioned he went into the dressing room and they all just speak in Spanish, and it's like, yeah, brilliant, sweet, what now?
Yeah.
And okay, now Bellingham's there, and a lot more people speak English from other countries as well because the internet and stuff like that. So I understand it, but I mean, I don't understand why he feels like that would be a better fit.
Yeah.
Is it the trophies alone? And if it is, then we can provide them trophies as long as he stays.
I think Jude has a massive play in this transfer, but despite this, he's going to win a trophy. He's going to go celebrate with Jude, maybe two other teammates that know English. All right, cool. Whereas in Liverpool, you got the whole team. You go on the parade.
Not the whole team, it's the whole city.
Yeah, you go on the parade. The whole city, all the flares are in your dedicated to you, dedicated on your performances because you're such a key role in that team. However, you just decide to throw that all away, and I think it's so stupid.
But I mean, we have gone on another tangent now, so I do say we get back to the sort of the game.
Yeah.
So, I think someone we can praise for yesterday was Lucho.
Yeah.
I think he played really well. Obviously, getting the goal, winning the penalty. Probably my man of the match for the game.
I agree. I think
he was probably the best player.
In contention with him and Salah.
Yeah, of course. Salah's in contention for man of the match every game. I think it's just a given.
I think Gravenberch also played amazing. I think we should have a shout to him.
Yeah, to be fair, Gravenberch and McAllister in midfield were really good.
Yeah.
But, when McAllister got moved up a bit further, it did work a little bit better with Endo dropping back a little bit. I think it gave us that solidity to be able to hold on to the result in the end.
Yeah.
And I think I would have liked to see Endo maybe come on against Everton when we played them. Maybe it would have been a different outcome, but you know, we can't cry over spilled milk, I guess. So it was definitely great to see those two in midfield, and obviously Lucho performing well again, getting that starting 11 spot back off Gakpo after he didn't play his best against Everton. Lucho again, really good. I love Lucho, and the goals he scores, like yesterday, again, determination. That's what it is. That wasn't him being a fantastic footballer. It was him being determined and going, I'm getting that ball no matter what. And he
it
did.
worked.
Exactly. And exactly the same thing for the penalty. And Chiesa at PSV, I don't know if you remember, same thing, wins a penalty just from determination. And I love that because, again, for me, I'll never judge a footballer that plays for Liverpool off their ability. I'll judge them off their body language, their, like I said, determination and commitment to the team, because that's what I want to see. Like when McAllister will lunge into a tackle, he'll get up, he'll bang the Liverbird on his chest, pump the crowd up. That's what I love to see. And if he misplaces the pass after that, oh well. But I would have enjoyed that moment where he done that. So, you know, I always think that sort of determination and how much they really want to be here is sort of like the determining factor. And Diaz has always shown that, and that's why he's always been one of my favourite players.
I think one player that doesn't get enough shouts for being just amazing week in, week out, so consistent, McAllister.
Yeah.
He doesn't...
I think this season, because of Gravenberch's sort of performances and how he's been going on with it, I think McAllister's gone under the carpet a little bit compared to last season, where he was obviously like our shining star in midfield. But I think, definitely right, McAllister is week in, week out, just absolutely quality.
He's able to stop so many counter-attacks, and he's able to pick up a ball, similar to Gravenberch, just pick a pass, maybe go on a dribble, get past one, pick out a pass, just so simple.
And his passing is so good.
And he rarely makes mistakes. He has so much composure. He knows what he does. He does everything so professionally, and it just works so well.
But I think another shout for sort of man of the match last night, Van Dijk. I think he was quality. I know we concede and it sort of comes down his side, but not much he could have done. It was Quansah that the shot beat. But Van Dijk yesterday, again, just colossal. And I know we've repeated that countless times, but there's no other sort of words to describe how good he is. Because, again, we were watching with our dad yesterday, and even he said, he was like, any other defender other than Van Dijk that's there, and that's a goal. It is really true. And just wow.
And what we said during the match is that the fact we've never seen a player with more composure. So many times he'll get the ball, it'll be a weird bounce in the box, he'll have two players around him, he's still able, he'll flick
it over his head, he don't care.
He'll just casually chest it, knee, volley at 40 yards, just out of nowhere, or he'll just take an amazing touch and just turn a man out of nowhere. And he's so incredible for his centre-back, because the fact that he's got so much intelligence, and he doesn't do it all flashy, he doesn't do it with...
But he is very nonchalant, and that's flashy in itself, I guess.
And the fact he's able to stay so composed, and he's so smart, he knows how it works.
He's definitely the most sort of nonchalant player I've ever seen play football. Like, it's unbelievable. This guy just looks like he can't be bothered. He's just there for a Sunday kickabout.
Literally.
And again, I know I mentioned earlier sort of players having that passion and determination, but I love Van Dijk for that just as much, because he just looks so clean doing everything. It's unbelievable.
I think he's got such a good contrast between playing for the badge of everything he loves, however, also just staying so composed and just showing.
But I mean, his composure, what's been key to him getting to this level. Like, there's been multiple occasions where there'll be a 1v1 with a striker, or a 2v1 with the opponent's forwards, and he'll just wait it out. A lot of
Yeah.
defenders would dive in, get beat, and then boom, there's 2 players going through on goal.
We saw it against Haaland, how
Exactly my
did
point,
that
yeah.
perfectly.
And that's what Van Dijk will do, is he'll use his intelligence and his knowledge of how football works
Yeah.
to judge what you're going to do. He even says he doesn't look at the ball, he looks at the eyes of the striker.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to read their intentions. Because
Yeah,
people
exactly.
can lie with their feet, but they can't lie with their eyes.
Yeah.
So, you know, again, just showing that sort of professionalism, experience, of course, to be able to do that. You know, I don't know how many of you guys play football out there. If you do, leave a comment. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't know how many people actually play football out there, but... I don't know if you've ever tried, but looking at someone's eyes whilst their feet are dribbling, it's almost impossible.
It is.
Like, you can't do it. So the fact that he does this to sort of the best attackers in the world, it's just unbelievable, really.
Yeah, it's so unorthodox compared to how other defenders get taught to defend
Exactly,
from the youngest of ages. Just, it goes completely out the window, and the fact that he's mastered
He's a
it.
unicorn. That is what he is. He's a unicorn. It's a one of a kind, because I've never seen a player like Van Dijk.
Yeah.
It's everything from his ball playing to his composure to the fact that he looks nonchalant when he does everything. You know, these all add up to him being a unicorn. There's no other centre-back like him.
Yeah.
Because people will pick Saliba up against him. Saliba can't hit diagonals on his weak foot across the whole pitch to Mo and get countless assists from it. I'm sorry, but that just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Not on a regular basis. Whereas like the Van Dijk diagonal is literally like his trademark.
Yeah, it's a
it
signature.
happens so many times, either to Trent, who's advancing up the pitch, or to Salah, which is a bit further, running on inside. You know, he does it so well and so consistently and reliably. And for that to be your weaker foot as a centre-back, and you can pick a pass like that, is unbelievable.
Yeah, I agree. I think this could segue perfectly into our match ratings.
Yeah.
So I think
Alisson
starting
first.
to Alisson, I think
9.
Yeah, that's fair to say. I was thinking at 8.5.
Nah, he keeps us in the game multiple times.
He's amazing. I would have liked to see that clean sheet, but it's nothing he could really do about that goal. An amazing finish from Cunha. But
and Trent next.
Trent, I think, you know what? The reason we're so harsh on him is because he's so brilliant that it just sets the standards for himself so high.
Of course.
So
I'd go 6.
Yeah, 6. I think fair enough because he didn't do horrible, but I think that is so disappointing compared to the standards he set himself. So yeah, I think 6 is fair.
For sure. And
going on to Konate.
Ibu, 7 or 8.
Yeah, 7. I think.
Let's go 7.5.
Yeah,
in the middle.
I don't think he had like that much of a crazy impact. I think he didn't do bad, but I don't think he did amazing where you can just single out his performance and go like, wow. I think
his yellow card early in the game, it wasn't a yellow card again. It was bullshit, but I think his yellow card affected him a little bit, and obviously gets subbed off at half time for Quansah because of that yellow card. So it probably would have to give him a 6, considering he came off after 45 and only really got a yellow card. But again, it's not from sort of him being bad or him having a bad performance. It was just getting a yellow card that probably wasn't a yellow, and then Schlott didn't want to risk it.
Yeah. And then Van Dijk, we already talked about him. 8.5, really gave our reasons why. Just outstanding, and I think
Robbo.
Robbo. Yeah, again, just Robbo performance these days.
Yeah, I mean, it was really up and down. Some really good moments and some really bad moments, mainly defensively. But I think, pardon me, I think Robbo was okay yesterday. He kept it out at the back.
Yeah.
Created some, not created, but, you know, was involved in the creation of some chances, so probably give him a 7.
7, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Nothing, again, similar to Ibu, I think nothing amazing, nothing very
nothing
poor.
Bad. And moving on to Gravenberch.
amazing, genuinely 8.5, I reckon, for me. I think that would be about right.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, again, we saw that Gravenberch that we see so often with that half turn, with his using his body to manipulate the ball.
I don't know if you've seen it, but the other day I spent about 10 minutes watching TikTok, which was just a compilation of Gravenberch turning.
You should send me that.
It's so good that I spent the whole 10 minutes watching it.
It's satisfying.
Yeah,
as well.
it's so satisfying. And watching the way that he manipulates his body to sort of get across the defender, and you know, the way he uses that turn to sort of position the ball, it's like he thinks 3 steps ahead, which at his age is unbelievable.
I think that's to do with his awareness, because he knows exactly, because he tends to often do this technique where he leaves the ball and lets it run past him, and then he turns with it.
Hooks it, yeah.
Turns with it. So, but he knows, he has awareness, so he knows exactly where to stand in order for the player behind him to not be able to get to the ball.
Yeah.
I think his turns have been genuinely amazing this season, but I think what game really brought to attention to the wider audience is the United game.
Yeah, even though we dropped points, but that one he did with Mainu on his back, oh my god.
That was
the way he span in and then back out, it was just unbelievable.
Yeah, so that was genuinely something you do in FIFA. So that was just amazing. And I think
not even nowadays with our bad gameplay is.
That segues into McAllister.
I don't know how, but I guess it does. Yeah, Maka 8.5 as well. I think them two solid at the base of midfield.
Yeah.
McAllister was making a lot of stuff happen, you know, winning a lot of these 50-50 balls.
Yeah.
So, yeah, McAllister 8.5.
Yeah, then played a bit higher up and he still had a good performance. Yeah. So I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, genuinely quite proud of that performance. Szoboszlai
5. I wasn't impressed.
I can't lie, I think that's a bit harsh.
I just weren't impressed,
I think he was poor, but a 6 I'll give him, because I don't think he was particularly good, but I don't think he was that horrible.
I don't know, for me he just stank it up a little bit.
I think that I would have preferred to see Jones this game.
He was red carded.
Oh yeah, he was. That is correct. I forgot about what happened in that Everton match. So no, we could not have seen Jones that game. However, maybe McAllister started at the 10.
I thought you were going to say Elliot. I was going to have to remind you of Plymouth.
No. Endo starting in the 6 or the 8, sorry, and then maybe McAllister in the 10, but still can't predict that kind of performance from Szoboszlai, such a great quality player with a poor performance. No. So I think a 6 is fair for him, in my opinion.
I'll give him a 5 still. Moving on to Salah, 9.
Again.
Probably man of the match.
Mm-hmm. In contention, yeah, definitely. I think great, genuinely amazing.
Not much more you can say, but I think we've said sort of everything over the course of the episode about how good Salah actually is.
I think same with Diaz. I think that's also a 9, and I think they could even share the man of the match.
Yeah, to be fair, there's not much split in them. I mean, Diaz, in theory, gets the assist for the penalty, which Salah scores. Did Salah assist? Yeah, he did, kind of. It was the deflection of the defender. Well,
technically, it wasn't a technicality.
Let's give it to Diaz then.
Yeah, but based off kind of GA?
Not really.
Not really, but
he was probably our most influential player. Like, Salah had the goal and the penalty, obviously, and the semi-assist to Diaz.
Yeah.
But other than that, he went missing a bit throughout the game, obviously in the second half especially. Whereas I think Diaz was kind of a constant. We just kept booting it long to him and kind of getting him to bring it down and make stuff happen.
Yeah.
So I think just from that regard, I'd probably give it to Diaz and probably to change it up a little bit, since Salah is man of the match every game.
Yeah, so moving on.
Jota,
I don't think he was great. I think that penalty dive was poor.
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, it's probably another 5. You know, he has a couple of chances where he takes too long on the ball, tries to dribble through God knows how many defenders, just making the wrong decisions. And obviously, I don't think that dive was necessary for the penalty.
Yeah.
It could have been a goal. And that really sort of disappointed me as well. So I'm not too happy with Jota after that. I would probably give him a 5, but I'd still like to see him start going forward, because I know there's more to come from him.
With a player with the finishing, the capability of finishing of Jota.
What I mean. Why is he just not finishing?
Why is he not
Why are we trying to dribble through the whole team? Just score.
Because we know he can shoot a ball. He knows where to shoot. He knows the power to shoot. He knows to place it. It's amazing. So I don't know why he doesn't do it. He has a great opportunity. A defender's running at him, but he has time to get the shot off. He takes another touch, 2 touches, 3 touches, and it's too late.
Yeah.
And it's too late. He has no choice but to dive, in my opinion.
Everton showed us to that. You know, he had that chance late away at Goodison, where again he's through, tries to dribble past 3 or 4 defenders, loses the ball, and then obviously we don't retain it. And again against Wolves, it was pretty much the same sort of scenario where he was dribbling past a few, messed his shot up, and you know, just on countless times he just wasn't quite sharp enough, not quite good enough.
I think that we might have actually cursed him on this podcast because a few episodes ago, before the Everton game, we was praising how good he is at being able to take it past players with the shot of sham and the finishing. And all of a sudden, he's just completely dropped off. So I think we might have ruined it for him.
Yeah, that was pre-Plymouth. So maybe the Plymouth game had a bit of a knock on his confidence. But, you know, other than that, I don't see why he'd be performing at this sort of level. But I do sort of expect him to bounce back, maybe, hopefully against Villa and hopefully versus City.
Yeah, massive game. So, yeah, we've got a lot of the big games ahead of us, I think.
Yeah,
but
it's exciting times, but not exciting times.
It couldn't... Listen,
stressful times.
If over the course of the 3 games until after Newcastle, if we get 9 points, that will be very exciting. We can look back and
if we get 9 out of 9 in the next 3 games, we're going to win the league.
Yeah, I think that's a shout. That could be what it's down to.
But there's a very high possibility we end up level points with Arsenal. You know, getting a draw away at Villa and a draw away at the Etihad. I mean, you know, our record at Villa is. It's a bit of a tough ground for us to go. We do win there quite a lot, but they're never sort of easy games. It's a 50-50 thread split between the 2 sides.
And I think
just regarding the Villa game, you know, it will be tough. And City, we obviously won there once in the last 10 years.
Yeah, we was looking back at that the other day, wasn't we? We was looking genuinely. The last time we won back there was
2015-16. Firmino's first goal for Liverpool.
Yeah, so that just goes to show how long that's nearly 10 years in the making now. So maybe 10-year anniversary, we can win something, hopefully.
Well, we'll have to wait till next season then.
Yeah, true. But still, a lot to look forward to. But I think that
it might have been 2014-15 because Rodgers got sacked after the Goodison derby, and then Klopp came in for Spurs, which we drew 0-0, and then that was later on that season. So it would have been 2014-15. So 10-year anniversary. Let's make it happen again.
Yeah, well, I think that just about wraps up the episode. I think we talked about everything there was to talk about. We covered the issues with Nunez, with Trent, Real Madrid, player ratings. I think that covers pretty much everything. So
thank you very much, guys, for tuning in into yet another episode, and we'll look forward to having you on the next one.
Thank you.